You've been connected to the DedSecCast. Enjoy the show.
Welcome back to episode 10 of the DedSecCast. My name is Brett, aka UbiCentral, and joining me as always is Aftermath.
Hey Brett, how you doing, man?
I am doing good. How are you?
I'm doing just fine.
Awesome. And before we get into things, I have to give a major shout out to each and every single one of you. Last episode was our most viewed show with over 10,000 views, which is just mind-blowing, especially because we took a break for a little bit. But yeah, the support, the comments, everything, you guys are amazing. So this week is episode 10, and it's been a while since we had a guest on the show. So literally yesterday, I was like, we need to make this episode special and have a guest. So with that said, why don't you go ahead and introduce yourself?
Hey guys, how you doing? This is Hurricane4343 on Twitter. Also, aka my first name is Andrew, and thank you so much, guys, for inviting me. I greatly appreciate it. This is an amazing DedSecCast, and I appreciate being on episode 10. Thank you very much for the opportunity, and great to talk to you guys again. It's been a long time.
Yeah, it's funny. I was just thinking about how far back we've known each other, and I want to say it's been over 2 years, probably almost 3 at this point, and old-time subscribers that are listening to this right now might remember we actually had a podcast together, but that was on a different YouTube channel, Open World Games, and we only did it for like about 3 episodes, but it's still crazy to think about because you were covering Watch Dogs before I even had my channel. And yeah, we talked about this a bit earlier, but you had like the biggest forum that was dedicated to Watch Dogs.
Yeah, that was amazing times we did have, Brad. It was really great. It's great to be back with you. That was some of those great times we had with the original Watch Dogs, and seeing how everything came together with the first game. It was simply amazing how that ended up, the first game, relative to everything that, as far as the sales of the original IP and all the work that we did do for getting the word out on the game. So it's really nice to be back and greatly appreciate it.
Yeah, we're glad to have you on the special episode 10. And yeah, Aftermath, do we have any news?
Funnily enough, Brett, we did switch to a 2-week schedule, so hopefully there would be some news per episode, unlike before when we had very little news per episode. But that hasn't quite come to fruition just yet, so we have really very little news. But we do know Watch Dogs 2 is confirmed to be at Gamescom being on August 18th to 21st, and hopefully meaning we'll have a new gameplay demo, as they usually line up quite well, and people will be playing it on the show floor and things like that.
Definitely, and we saw this with Syndicate last year, but basically there was a time from E3 to Gamescom where we had like 2 gameplay demos, I want to say, and there was no news from E3 to Gamescom, and we were just waiting, and then after Gamescom hit, we got a new gameplay demo and almost like weekly news from there on out. So yeah, finally things will start picking up because these past 2 weeks have kind of been dead. Speaking of a gameplay demo though, I announced in my last video and on Twitter, but if you haven't seen it yet, I will be visiting Ubisoft Montreal and we'll have hands-on time with Watch Dogs 2. I will be vlogging the trip. I asked you guys in the last video if I should, and possibly try out periscoping. I'm not sure yet. Let me know if you'd like to see that. But yeah, I wanted to bring you guys along for the trip, and I promise I will record as much as I possibly can without being that annoying to other people around me. I don't want to be that one guy who just pulls out a camera while everyone's like eating. So yeah, I don't want to be that guy. But it's definitely worth noting there will be an NDA, so I probably won't be able to say or show a lot of the office or the game. But I'm hoping I can just make like a general impressions kind of video of my thoughts and everything without getting into too much detail. But anything I can say about the game, I obviously will. But yeah, Andrew will also be attending the same event, which by the way is on August 10th, and I will be returning on the 13th. So yeah, Andrew, what are you looking forward to doing most in Canada? And this can be like in general, doing something in the city, or it could be something specific to Watch Dogs 2.
I can't wait to be in your vlogs, Brad. I know there'll be a camera in my face every minute, every second. That'll be good. We'll have some great, I'm sure we'll have some great video for all the fans and everything. And even though all the followers and subscribers and everybody can't be there, they'll be with us, as we go along and vlogging. I'll be tweeting, I'm sure, 100 times from airport to airport, to hotel, and anywhere I can be, allowed to, at least as far as tweeting and this and that, and we really have some good information as far as to bring back, obviously, at some point in time. But I guess just looking forward to, seeing the daily routine kind of when we get into, the office there in Ubisoft Montreal and meeting everybody, the people behind the game, and seeing how that works out as far as, meeting the developers, meeting community managers, and then also getting hands-on with it as far as, seeing as far as how the game compares to the first one, pretty much. Should be pretty interesting to see, as far as the movement in the vehicles, how Marcus is on foot, just as far as the new hacking that we'll be able to have, and the different tools and stuff like that. Obviously, a brand new, beautiful city there in San Francisco virtual world. So it's a lot of different things we'll be able to gather for everybody and the fans and subscribers and stuff like that. So, I mean, I'm sure we're going to have a lot of great information to bring back with us.
Yeah, and we're definitely excited about this trip and just seeing other community members as well, because there's so many talented people, artists, cosplayers, forum people, active members who have just been here from the start, and it's just going to be amazing to see everyone else in the community. And yeah, I'm just like, for me, I've never been outside the US, so just going to Canada and seeing Ubisoft employees like Chase, Hanny, David, Andy, Gabe, the list goes on. So it will definitely be an awesome experience, and I hope when we're playing Watch Dogs 2 that we like soak it all in and just remember everything. I know we're going to be taking notes, but I just hope that we don't disappoint with all the information and stuff, because yeah, there's going to be a lot. But with that said, as always, we have a couple of questions to ask and answer for each other. So Aftermath, Andrew, are we upset about there being no reputation system in Watch Dogs 2?
I was just thinking back on Watch Dogs 1's reputation system, and it worked well enough, but I feel that kind of system is kind of outdated now. It was pretty popular with lots of different games for, I don't know, like a 5-year time span there, starting mainly with the PlayStation exclusive Infamous, which made that kind of binary reputation system a big part of the game. But now that binary scale is just not all that interesting. So I suppose if they couldn't make it more complex and interesting to me, then I'm kind of glad that we don't have one at all, really.
Yeah, I mean, just to piggyback off Aftermath, I think we made some great points as far as I just been, picking it up and playing it again, preparing for Watch Dogs 2, just looking at the reputation system itself. It does seem outdated. It seems like, I'm running over 100 NPCs and taking my gun out and doing all different things. And it seems like, to get that all the way back to a neutral setting or become, into a green area where the world sees you are, it seems like it takes forever. So I think getting away from that's going to really benefit the game. I mean, just playing it now and, picking it up from, and looking at the reputation system that they did have, I definitely think that it's good that they did away with that and go with this new, as far as the followers and stuff like that, and ties into social media and everything.
Yeah, I'm going to sound like a broken record because I agree with both of you. I do understand why it's gone, because this game is a different tone, but I still wish if they brought it back, it was improved upon, because I do think the system has potential. It just wasn't executed that well in the first game, and I always like, being careful and not killing anybody, and if that affects you. But in Watch Dogs, there really wasn't that many, like, if you were good and you didn't kill anybody, there wasn't that many benefits for doing that, and there's definitely things that they could have improved on, and I kind of wish that they brought that back and improved on those things, but in the same way, I'm not really that disappointed about it. Yeah, I was just always worried about, hitting someone with my car because the driving sucked. That's always, like, that made my reputation go down all the time, but again, it didn't really affect me. So yeah. On to the next question. It has been confirmed that there is 6 different editions of the game. However, we're just going to be, talking about the ones in the US. So that's standard, deluxe, golds, and then the collectors. That's like the Uplay Ubisoft one. So Aftermath, the question is, are we excited for any of these and what they have to offer?
I've gone back and forth on these kind of collector's editions for games. I'm just using that as a general term for all of these instead of not literally meaning the collector's pack, but yeah. Over the years, I've gone back and forth on my opinion on these, and right now, I don't think I'm gonna get any of these. The only one that kind of stands out to me is the gold one, which I believe comes with the season pass. But I usually get these games because I want to play the game. I don't often get them for the statues and things like that. So I think that only the really, really hardcore fans would probably want that. And I have about 3 or 4 Assassin's Creed statues from these kind of collector's editions. But for me, I'm kind of past that now, and at this point, and with the setup I have, it kind of just clutters up my room, So I'm not sure. I don't think I'll be getting any of these.
So are you saying you're not a dedicated fan?
That's not quite what I'm saying, I think.
I think that's what you said. Andrew, what about you?
Yeah, that makes 2 of us, Brad. I think I'm with Aftermath on this one, kind of. I mean, the robot, you got a robot you can have in one of them. I mean, the season pass is great, like you said, the gold edition, something like that. I'm not so much into the collector's editions anymore, really. At this point, it does, like Aftermath was saying, with clogging up and stuff like that. I think it's great. It's a choice. It's a great choice. All the different editions and stuff. I definitely really get the game to play the game, and kind of the season pass, and obviously getting that and stuff. So I think I'll not sure. Maybe my puppy will chase around this robot. I guess they got a robot, a remote control robot or something, maybe. Or the Marcus figurine would be kind of neat too. You look at those things. So I guess as we do get closer, I'll take a closer look at it. But really, I'm bumped up for the game to get here into the in less than 100 days. So we're right around the corner.
Yeah. So for me, I wrote this down because I didn't want to mess this up. But basically, the collector's edition here in the US is garbage, especially after seeing how much the Return of DedSec edition has to offer. For example, the collector's edition doesn't have a map of San Francisco, DedSec stickers, Marcus's scarf and cap, an art book, and a figure of Marcus. The collector's pack has none of that for us. It's literally the game, deluxe pack, and season pass. So, and the wrench robot. Don't get me wrong, that's cool, but yeah, just after seeing the Return of DedSec edition, that's way cooler. It has so much more stuff. So for that, I'm not getting our collector's edition here in the US. They need to bring the other one here because exclusive stuff sucks. But yeah, I'm not gonna get it. All right, I'm just gonna get the regular. Leave me alone.
So, speaking of things we're getting or not getting, a big part for some people of the first Watch Dogs was actually the companion app, which got quite a lot of the marketing time, especially early on at E3s and things like that. But there has been no announced or even planned, as far as we know, companion app for Watch Dogs 2. Do you guys think that there should be one, or did it not really have that much of an impact and it doesn't really matter that much?
Yeah, I'm kind of surprised, the first one with, having the app and stuff like that, and, as far as the interaction, as far as having that on your phone and what have you. So I guess maybe maybe they could come up with some kind of thing where they have now this whole Pokemon Go thing is so popular. Maybe they'll have Marcus going around picking up followers like Pokemon Go or something, maybe one day or something. Yeah, but I'm kind of surprised a little bit as far as that. Was interested in the first one. Is the companion app itself was pretty neat. It was interesting to me to see something like that attached to the game.
Yeah, I mean, I want a companion app for Watch Dogs 2 as well. I didn't have an issue with the first one. I mean, I didn't really use it, but in regards to other people having the ability to control a helicopter is just fun, and it actually gives them something to do. From what I've seen, the app wasn't that perfect, but for a companion app, it seemed fine. And honestly, I don't mind them adding this as like an extra feature, especially if it can tie into the game directly like the first one did.
Yeah, like I actually quite enjoyed the first one, especially playing with my little brother and friends that would come around to compete against them, and like we would take turns racing in the game or who was controlling the companion app. And so I actually enjoyed it. I think that they can improve upon it a lot for the sequel if they were going to do it, because it did have some connectivity issues and things like that. In the first week, it basically didn't work at all, but I think that it had a lot of potential, and I think it could have been done quite a bit better. And so I would have liked to see one for Watch Dogs 2, but I'm not sure we're going to get one.
You have friends?
Yes, believe it or not.
I don't believe it. I'm just trying Aftermath this whole episode. Andrew, basically, the last couple of guests we've had on, I always like to ask them, just to review the first Watch Dogs, like, give it a score out of 10. Like, what were your thoughts? Because I know, especially with you were covering the game all the way up till release. So, like, just what would you give a score out of 10 for the first Watch Dogs?
Yeah, I mean, of course I'm a little biased to it, having a forum and having, interaction with the devs and stuff. I mean, I think for myself with a new IP, the open world hacking, a solid 9 out of 10 as far as, my enjoyment with it. I think, seeing the footage of what they are coming with Watch Dogs 2 is just blowing me away. I definitely think that, they listen to the fans, the feedback, as far as that, I think that they've made great strides. And like Dominic Gay was saying, the producer of the game, he's spent months on forums and all over the place, listen to feedback. And I think that's really important to have that, those developers and community managers listening to the fans and, fixing the driving, which we know you love, Brett, and things like that. So, it's been it was a great ride. I mean, I enjoyed it. I love open world games. That's my favorite genre. So I really, after a long day of work, sit down and play it and kind of roam around, and you can do whatever you want. So, I mean, I think that it was really well done. Really, enjoyed myself. So I mean, I couldn't have asked really for anything more as far as a great open world game. I mean, as far as something that like we haven't seen in other open world games, as far as the NPCs and hacking, and seemed like the NPCs having a name attached to them, so to bring it a little bit more to life. So I think they did one hell of a job, the team.
And one last question, sorry for catching you off guard a little bit here, but like, what was one thing you want to be improved on for the sequel? Like, what was your biggest issue with the first game that you just want to see, like, taken into account for the sequel and just improved upon?
Well, yeah, I mean, just what we know is going to be the combat with NPCs, man. I could see myself roaming around and kind of, in the first game, and I can hack and stuff, and kind of, I just want to punch that guy over there, or just want to, kind of interact with the NPCs a lot more as far as, with combat. And I think that's one of the things that I was so used to in all the open world games, like being able to use the fisticuffs or punch them and combat with NPCs, that it lacked. That it was like kind of one of the things that it was I'm really looking forward to. And I think that's kind of one of the things that I was really happy to hear that they approved upon. Also, they make mention of this, the headquarters. That's one of the things where I didn't feel like, Aiden had a place where he's this hacker and he's got a big, huge headquarters, where I know Dominic Gay, the producer, had mentioned, the fast travel will be in clothing shops and headquarters. So, kind of my idea for a headquarters is like a 2-story house that has cameras, a television, you meet your followers in there, or, the first game I think could have built upon something like that. When they had that underground dungeon with all the cameras at the end, towards the end, when you were down there, something like that, something that really is, it feels like your own, maybe a garage where you store your car, cameras that you can view the whole world in, and just feeling like a hacker and feeling that you have your own place to really live in and stuff like that. So I think that's one of the things that it lacked, those couple things.
Yeah, after Matt and I actually talked about that in a recent episode, but basically, I think we both kind of agreed on this, that the main hideout was alright. Like, it could have been better, but it was good compared to the other ones. Like, the other ones were just shipping containers and they were useless. Like, they didn't have anything to offer. You could sleep in bed, change your outfit, but it was just one little tiny room. So I hope that they improve on not just the main hideout, but also all the other ones scattered across the map. All right, so that brings us to the end of episode 10. Andrew, again, thank you so much for coming on the show with us. It was a ton of fun.
It's an honor to be with you guys. I greatly appreciate the opportunity. You guys are awesome. It's an amazing, amazing show. The best there is out there. I greatly appreciate it, and definitely thank you for the opportunity.
Of course. And Aftermath, did he just say we're like the greatest?
I'm not entirely certain about that. That sounds a bit dubious to me, but I think we'll roll with it for now.
All right. And Andrew, where can people find you at on social media? I know you mentioned it earlier, but just again, if they missed it.
Yeah, it's at Hurricane4343, and I will be hashtagging Watch Dogs 2 just about every day.
Especially when you go to Canada.
Without a doubt, we'll be hashtagging it up thousands of times, if that.
All right, and I'll put a link to that in the description down below as well. Aftermath, I know you wanted to talk about something real quick, so take it away.
Well, I just wanted to ask you guys to have just a brilliant time in Canada. I had a brilliant time when I was there, so I have absolutely no doubts that this will be an amazing time for you guys, and I want to hear all about it when you get back. While you're doing that, I am actually starting work tomorrow and starting my senior year of high school the day after that, so that's Monday. So I'll be busy with all that stuff, but you guys will be busy with other cool stuff, and you'll have to tell me all about it.
We'll tell you how much we can, because there's an NDA, Aftermath.
Well, we'll talk privately, and you can tell me everything else.
Oh, no. It's an NDA. But yeah, I actually had like a job, and I was going to school at the same time my senior year. And good luck, man, because it's stressful. At least for me, it was.
Well.
And Brett, do we have these eateries from Aftermath? We're going to have to get some poutine. I hear from Chase and Hanny and, David that we're going to have to get some of these locales from Aftermath out there. So me and Brett will be vlogging the poutine. We will vlog that, Brett. We will definitely vlog that.
Yes. Aftermath, did you have that again? I forgot.
Yeah, I did.
Out of 10, what would you rate it?
Give it maybe a 8.5 out of 10.
I'm hyped. Yeah, I'll be vlogging. Or, well, Andrew, I'll probably give you the camera to record my reaction to eating it. All right, well, that will do it for episode 10. Thank you all so much for watching. Again, everything will be in the description down below. Also, I just remembered, there was some people in the last episode suggesting that we put the DedSecCast on other platforms such as SoundCloud. So please let me know in the comments down below if you'd like to see that, as well as on YouTube. But again, thank you all so much for watching, and we'll see you all later.